Award night. The aim of this award was, and is, to recognise the student who we as a school group feel best embodies the 5 principles of the ERST Charter, namely nurturing faith, Christian spirituality and gospel-based values, promoting partnership and building community, excelling in teaching and learning, creating a caring school community, and transformational leadership. The inaugural recipient of the award was the late James Meaney, and I particularly want to welcome James's dad John and his sister Sinead here tonight. What a deserving winner James was. He was the absolute all-rounder. As preparation for this speech tonight, I looked up my notes on him for when he was awarded the TY Student of the Year. In 2013, I described him as polite, obliging, enthusiastic, a gem, a pleasure to teach, a team player, well respected amongst his peers, utterly dedicated and committed to his work, a student who epitomised everything that TY stands for. In the years since then, James merely added to that view of him. Our PE teacher, Killian Bohan, said he was described by someone in Mitchelstown Rugby Club as the best of us. What an apt description. The manner in which he dealt with his illness, his refusal to feel sorry for himself, his determination to get on with things and to beat it. He was truly the very best of examples to those of us who had the privilege of knowing him. Whenever a young person dies, there's huge sadness and difficulty in coming to terms with it. I think this was even more marked when James passed away in June of this year. Throughout his illness, when he could not play rugby, he coached the under-12s. A number of parents spoke to me around that time about the impact he had on their sons. They described how upset their 12 and 13-year-olds were that he had passed away. They described how much the young boys had loved having James as a coach. One said he had transformed the team and spoke of how he would tell them individually throughout training what they had done particularly well that session, always focusing on the positive. It's no surprise that James was studying in UL to be a PE teacher and maths teacher. I remember the first time I saw James play hurling in the school colours, and what stayed with me from that match was his leadership, encouraging his colleagues, never shirking a challenge himself, leading in what he said, but also in what he did. Indeed, just as he did off the field. Mitchelstown Rugby Club has been very supportive of the school, and we share a strong link, not only through our players, but in our PE teacher and their trainer, Killian Bohan. At this stage, I want to welcome particularly the Rugby Club President, Owen Dawson, and I thank him most sincerely for joining us here tonight. Killian came into the office to me early in September and said the Rugby Club were anxious to sponsor a bursary in James's name and would like to do something through the school. We thought it would be very fitting to do this as part of the ERST Award, given what it represents, and given that James was the first recipient. Mitchelstown Rugby Club has sponsored a €500 education bursary for tonight's award winner. This is a fabulous gesture by Mitchelstown Rugby, who've also, I know, added the initials JM below their crest for the year. It says a lot about James, but it also says a lot about the club that they would honour James in this manner. The school will continue to present the ERST Award, but the trophy will be now known as the James Meaney Trophy. We are very proud and privileged to have had James here as a student and indeed as a friend to the school, and we will always remember him. And this year's award winner, and this is where I start to feel a little of what Shane felt earlier when he said I stole his notes. Some of what I read is going to sound slightly familiar, and I promise we didn't hog from one another, so we didn't, Peter. This year's award winner has been involved in just about every activity and event in the school over his years with us. He excels in his academic endeavours and has never allowed his high standards to dip. He combines an ability in sciences with an ability in creative writing and languages, not the most usual of combinations. His work ethic is outstanding. He has incredible self-discipline and motivation. His willingness to become involved either on an individual basis or as a team player was exceptional. He has won awards in individual competitions of business studies and creative writing. He was the creative force behind the Young Social Innovators National Bronze Medal win 3 years ago. The project, CAF, Calling All Little Farmers, was taken on by Cork County Council for their farm safety programme, with his book being a central part of it. He was an integral part of the school debating team, which participated in concerned debates. He has been called on to speak at school functions, including Open Night. He was on a team finishing third in a national life science competition. He was on the chemistry team for the Pfizer quiz. He was a TY mentor for first years. Along with all of this, he at all times maintains his affable and amenable manner. I can truly say, I have never heard him speak ill of anyone. He leads by deed rather than by word, and his willingness and involvement are excellent examples to us all. He clearly exemplifies the principles of the ERST Charter, excelling in teaching and learning, living the Christian values, creating a caring community, working in partnership with others, and transformational leadership. I'm delighted to say that the ERST Award recipient for 2018 is Richard Maher.